Mr. and Mrs. Hicks. Andrew and I are up here at the lake this weekend, and we're going to give you a little video tour of the lake house. Andrew's got the camera, obviously.
Hello.
This is the security gate that we've installed after we had a couple of break-ins last winter. This is a sign that Alex made, and we're going off of this little side road, which, as you can see, is very steep. And this is the start of our driveway right here. And we call this little thing the leap of faith, where you go over, because before this gate was here, unless you knew that there was something on the other side, you were pretty sure that you were just plunging off into the woods. This gate we bought from a guy in Maryville who says that it's a lot stronger than your usual farm gate. And he told me that, well, you could probably back through it with a truck. It would really damage the truck if you were going to do that. So anyway, this is our driveway. We had to cut this driveway in here. The road we were just on was there before, but this driveway we had to cut to get down to the house. We'll walk down here to this turn, and then we'll be back on. Well, I'll show you another area, but this driveway, I would guess, is like 1,000 to 1,200 feet long. You can see we have 9.5 acres, and this part down here below that road is probably, I'd guess, 3.5 to 4 acres. Off to the right there is the lake. We're kind of on a little peninsula. You can't tell it right now. Okay, we're still on the driveway. I just wanted to give you some idea of the contour. We built this driveway, particularly this part of it, on an old logging road, although they moved it a little bit. But you can see over here where they had to cut into the hill to build the driveway. As you know from having been to East Tennessee, it's a lot like around Batesville. It's really hilly. And this part of Norris Lake is very hilly, right down to where the Clinch River used to be before they built the lake in like 1936. You can see that we're starting to get a good growth of blackberries along here. One of our big activities in the summer is to collect blackberries, and we're getting a better crop all the time.
Yeah.
Now, back when we first bought this property, and we're still above the house, but right in this area, right next to those two great big pine trees, is the area we camped. We pitched our tent just over to the right of those pine trees. And when they built the house, they kind of left this area cleared out a little bit. This is where they parked some of their trucks and stuff. Our neighbor who was moving gave us their basketball goal, so we brought that up here and we planted cement. So we have a little basketball goal area right here. The well for the house is right over there. You can see that little reddish, rusted well top there. And right here we're just above the house. In fact, you can probably see the red roof of the house right through the trees there. Our property, like I said, is on a little peninsula that sticks out into a cove in Norris Lake. And we'll give you a better picture of that later. So if we come over this way, I can show you the property lines on this side. Now, this old grown-up section here is part of the old road, that logging road that used to be through here. The property line is right there, and if you look down there, you can see this deep ravine that goes down there, and then, of course, you can see the lake down below it. It's probably 100 200 feet below us down there. But that's one prong of the cove that we're in, and our peninsula just sits right down in the middle of that. This property, we bought this property at auction. A partnership had owned about, I guess it was 500 acres, and they were going to develop it. It had been logged in the early 60s, and they were going to develop it as a resort on Norris Lake, but the partners got older and they wanted to liquidate it, so they subdivided all this acreage into tracts, 5 acres and larger. Like I said earlier, ours is about 9.5 acres, but that's why a lot of the growth on the property are trees that are, 30, 40 years and less, but then of course they left some of them, so we still have some nice, great big trees on the property. A lot of big white oaks, like that one right there that I'm pointing to now, Andrew, is a great big white oak. It's one of the biggest on the property. Okay, now we're walking down the last part of the driveway, right down toward the house. I don't know if you can sense it on the camera, but it's not terribly steep right here. As you look off to the left, you can see down to the lake. The lake here is beautiful. It's a real bright green color. Stays that way all summer. Anyway, we'll keep walking around the bend here. We have a little tree house down there in the woods that we'll show you in a minute. Come around the bend, and there is the lake house. Come on down here, Andrew, where you can get a full view. Our contractor who built this did a real nice job of leaving those trees right there so that the house looks like it's been there a while, but as we're making this videotape, it's probably only about 3.5 years old. Actually, it's probably 4 years old right about now. We moved into it for the first time 4 years ago. We decided that we didn't want to plant grass here because we didn't want to be mowing grass all the time. So over the years, we have thrown out a whole lot of wildflower seeds, and we've had some success with that. Not total success, but we do have some that come back. These daisies here, I think they're daisies, are real pretty, and they come back every year. And we're starting to get, as I said, a growth of blackberries and little scrub pines. The big bushes behind the house are butterfly bushes, which are beautiful. They bloom all summer, and they're native to this area, so they just pretty much grow without us asking them to. But if it kind of looks wild, that was sort of what we had in mind.
This is a glimpse of the house looking from another angle. We're looking up at the house now from right down, right next to the edge of the woods. Here's where we planted all the wildflowers. They're not really in full bloom yet, but they'll come up. All we have to do is give them a little bit of time. The stairway, Daddy made that. And
all right, this little porch is the main entrance to the house. These are Zana's kitchen windows here. As you can see, about, I think, 3 Father's Days ago, she bought me that grill, and we use it a lot up here. Something about grilling at the lake I like. You can see Belle has been kind of hard on our, Belle is the dog, but she's been hard on our screen door. She's big enough that she just basically ignores it and goes right through. Okay, we're looking into the main room of the house here. My friend Rob Sheeler, who's one of my law partners, made that table for us. Now, during the break-ins over the winter, we lost a lot of furniture. Those green chairs are not the chairs we used to have around there. Those were stolen. Those are the ones we use out on the porch. But anyway, you can get an idea of how it looks. This is the kitchen. The refrigerator we're using is one that probably about 40, 50 years old. We're using that one because when they turned off the power during the break-in, they ruined our other refrigerator, which is out there on the porch. You're seeing it now, and we're waiting for the insurance claim to be settled so that we can get a new refrigerator. This obviously was designed as a cabin. We got the house plan out of Southern Living. Zana picked out all of the interior stuff and did all the design work, so we can thank her. But got a nice kitchen, and let's move out on the porch. We like this design because there's so many windows that it's real light and airy in here. We keep these French doors open in the summer, and it lets a lot of light in. Then we got a nice big porch here. You can see we found a great use for the cooler you gave us. We use it as not only as a cooler when we have company, but also sort of as a coffee table. We used to have 2 rocking chairs out here, but those were stolen too, and those will be replaced because we use them all the time. Zana was wise enough to have us put fans out here, so in the summer we can avoid using the air conditioning. We do have heating and air conditioning, but we try not to use it much in the summer. And these fans will keep it nice and cool. We purposely, just looking out here, I don't know if the camera's going to be able to pick this up, but we purposely didn't cut down all the trees. TVA owns the property basically from the tree line, as you see it, down to the lake. But a lot of people clear out the trees, but we really wanted to be isolated from the lake so that we wouldn't feel like we were being stared at all the time. One thing we really liked about this house design is this big, large space in the main room. This, of course, has the fireplace and our couches. We brought these couches from home. But you can see that at the highest place in this room, it's about 25 feet up. Andrew, walk this way. These stairs go up to the main bedroom. We'll go up there in a minute. But we have this nice little railing and walk area up here. And there's a reading nook where we're planning to do some built-in shelves. My same friend who did the table for me is a good amateur carpenter. He's going to help me do some built-in shelves and maybe a little love seat. Right now we just kind of use it for book and game storage. But ultimately we're planning to have some built-in bookshelves along here and then a love seat over next to the window. And to get you oriented, the lake is straight out that way. In the winter, we have a beautiful view out down the cove and into the main channel of the lake. We're looking down here from the balcony into the main room. You can see the water. That's the original watercolor of the kids. Y'all have a copy of that, of course. It's a nice design because it has lots and lots and lots of light all the time. That's one reason Zana decided to paint the walls this bright yellow to keep the light as bright as we wanted it. Walking down this way, this is the door to the main bedroom. Now this is on the top level of the house. This is where Zana and I live when we're up here. We love to come up here because we bought this bed for this place and we don't have as good a bed at home. So this is Zana's closet here and my closet there. Actually, we use this closet for storage too because it goes way back in here under the eave of the house and we have a lot of room for storage. I guess I shouldn't let you see this messy closet, but anyway, that's kind of the way we live up here. This bedroom also has its own bathroom. One of the things we added on was this big jacuzzi tub, and we have absolutely loved that. It's a great place to relax. And then you can see the rest of the stuff. Here's the sink. Looking out this way, to get you oriented again, those trees that I said I was so glad that the contractor saved are the ones right out there. So we're just on the other side of those now. And you can see that this is a nice high room too, lots of light in here. Now, we use there's a shot of a cameraman. We have another little room here, and this room actually was supposed to be the heating and air conditioning room in the original design, but he moved all that stuff kind of under the edge of the roof there and gave us this whole other room, and we use this room as a computer room in the summer. The computer I can hook up with at work, and so I can work up here and sometimes not have to go into the office. And that's what I'd like to do more of. Okay, now we're back down on the main level. This house was not designed to have a basement, but since we were on such a sloping lot, we decided we really ought to have a basement. So he altered the design, and we have I haven't shown you. Let's finish out this floor first. The main level has 2 bedrooms. They're basically mirror images. In the robbery, they stole the queen-size bed that was in here, and this has its own separate closet too. Then down this way is another bedroom, basically about the same. This one had twin beds in it. For some reason they stole one of the twin beds but not the other. I guess they didn't have room on the truck. And this one has a nice big closet too. It's very convenient because we have a washer and dryer up here. I hope it's not too dark for you to see. Here, let me turn the light on.
Put the light on this.
There you go. As we're doing this, it occurs to me we may be going into way more detail than you're interested in, but and since you hadn't had a chance to see it, I wanted you to see all of it. Okay, anyway, here are the stairs to the basement that I was telling you about. When we had the house built, the basement was, we left the basement unfinished, but they did have it plumbed and wired. And my friend who did the table, we brought a crew from work up here and we finished out the basement ourselves. We did everything except the sheetrocking, and it's still not completely finished. This area is sort of the recreation room. Again, I'll tell you some of the sad story of the robbery. We had a ping pong table here, and then we had found an old used pinball table that sat over there, and they stole both of those. The good news is that the insurance is going to cover all this and we'll get it replaced. It's just a sort of a slow, frustrating process. Anyway, this piano we got for $100. It's an old piano from one of the Methodist colleges in this area, and they were just trying to get rid of it, and so we bought that so we could practice the piano in the summer. That utility closet, we still hadn't put the doors on that yet, but that's one of the many projects that we have to do. In the summer, we bring the big TV up here, and the big TV sits over there so we can watch videos down here as a group. Going back in here, the basement has another bathroom, and it has 2 bedrooms. One of them is a bunk room. The bathroom is there. Now, we have the bathroom finished out. Apparently, when they were robbing the place, they were trying to steal the sink down here, and they dropped it and broke it. And so we're going to have to replace that. And they're just seeing black right now. Okay. You can see that we have a little shower and everything else. And this was up and operating, but they broke the sink. Now, another project is in this area. We're planning to have a counter and a microwave, and then we'll have a little sink over here. It's all plumbed out and ready to go. And we have all the fixtures, we just haven't gotten it finished yet. We have to build some cabinets for it, but that's one of the many things we need to do. This is the bunk room. We bought these bunks at a yard sale, and usually Alex is the one who sleeps in here. This is a little vanity Zana's going to refinish. And this is a day bed that somebody gave me, and we'll put it here in the other area for the bunk. This is the other bedroom down here. This is where Andrew usually sleeps. And this is always stays dark and cool, and it's a great place to sleep. There's a little area there where we're going to build a closet ultimately. We put a fan down here, and we thought about taking it out, but we're going to leave the fan, I think, because it keeps it cool without the air conditioner. To finish out this floor of the house, we have a little porch down here underneath the upstairs porch. We installed that swing there that we use, and this is a good place for when we're coming up from the lake and we're all wet. We have a rack to dry the swimsuits, and we store all of the floats and toys and stuff here. The only outside spigot on the house is down here also. The lattice work that you see underneath this porch, that was done again by my friend Rob Sheeler when he worked up here. He also put in those steps there that go down by the porch. And we show those steps.
Oh yeah.
Okay, just to give you an idea, this is looking back up the driveway. We're now right next to the porch. Those are the steps my friend built down for us. That's the lower porch. These are some of the wildflowers that we have planted, and now we'll go down the steps to the lake. It's not a terrible walk to the lake. It's a little steep, so we put in these, my dad and I put in these steps here.
Which lake are we going down to?
We're now down to the line right here. That big white oak there with the two splits is right at our property line. All around Norris Lake, the government, or TVA, owns up to the, I think it's the 3310 line, and that line is equal to the top of Norris Dam. And so one nice thing about the lake is there's not a lot of development right down on the lake. There's sort of a ring of woods all around it. So this is, of course, here in this open area, as I'm sure you figured out, is the drain field. When they put in the septic system for the house, the drain field is down here, so they cleared this. And these are some of the wildflowers we planted, and we're looking back up at the house now. And as we stand right here, like I said, we're on the peninsula. The lake is on either side of us and behind us. So we're going to walk on down now to the lake. Okay, we're just a little bit down the path, and we're about to come out to where you get out to where the lake is.
And here it is.
Now this little area out here we call the peninsula. It's really the tip of the peninsula. We have loved having this as part of our property. I call it our property. It's really TVA's, but it's surrounded by our property, so we feel it's ours. That area up there on top, we cleared out, and we've the Boy Scouts camped here last year. Andrew's and Alex's and Charlie's troop. We also use that for badminton and volleyball up there.
I usually win because I'm bigger and better than they are.
Looking out that way, you can see we're in the cove, but you can see the opening that goes out to the main channel of Norris Lake. On that side, that's one prong of this little cove. Let's move up here to the top. That little gazebo over there is owned by the only people that had a place in here when we bought. They had had it for years and years. I don't know how they got it, but looking out here, of course, you can get the color of the water. It's very deep out there, and that even when they drop the lake to the lowest level, and it's almost to its highest level now, but there's still water out there because it's so deep. It's probably 80 to 100 feet out there, and it's 80 to 100 feet on the other side. If you look all the way across, you can probably make out a rope swing that's over there off of those rocks, and then there's a little cave out there just to the right of it. It's not a big cave. It stops.
Oh, so we think.
Looking back up this way, Andrew, get down here. you can see the canoe. That's our canoe. A guy at work sold it to me. And you can see the path going right next to the canoe. That path leads straight up to the house. You can't see the house from here, but that's the path we just came down to get to the lake. And it's not far at all. Okay, let's stop it there. Okay, we're now out on the very tip of the peninsula. One of the things we've loved doing up here over the years is building fires out here. We've done it winter and summer, and this is where we always build our fires. From this angle, now out that way, of course, you can see straight out our cove to Norris Lake, or the main channel of Norris Lake. Man out here is doing what, Mr. Hicks, we need you here to teach us how to fish better, because we don't have a lot of luck, but a lot of fishermen apparently do. Andrew, come down here. Come down this way. We're on the very tip of the peninsula. Now, you can look up that right prong. Now, earlier, when I showed you that big ravine that goes down on our side of the property, you actually can't see it, but it's just around the bend where you can see. And then if we go over here, and you look up this side of the cove, we own all the way up, almost as far as you can see. The road, or the gate that we showed you very first on this tape, is up above the trees on this side. So you can get the idea, sort of, that we have this whole peninsula here in this nice deep cove. Okay, this is an area about midway from the water up to the house. You can probably make out the house just through the trees there. I don't know if you can tell it, but that big white oak with two prongs on it is right up there. This area right here is a little flat area because this is another logging road, old logging road. In the summer we have some hammocks, and I hang them right down in here because this makes a great shady place to lie in the hammock. This is also the path to what we have started using as the main swimming area because it's a lot more level. We just walk this way. As we walk down here, of course, now the house is up the hill on our right. Lake is down to the left.
A lot of brush. I keep having to duck.
Okay, now we're coming down to where our swimming area is.
Here's the path.
I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but this is a nice, gentle little slope here that makes a great area to swim. We have this little shade tree there. Our lounge chairs are under construction right now. Zana's going to recover those for us.
They were given by the same guy who got us the basketball goal.
Now you're looking straight down here is where we do all our swimming. Today is May 11th, and Andrew and I were up here yesterday afternoon, and we went swimming for the first time. It was pretty brisk. We stood it for about 10 to 15 minutes and then got out. But in the summer, this is just a perfect swimming spot because the water stays real warm, and it's fairly level, probably about 15 feet. It's just a gradual slope into the water. It gets pretty deep out there in the middle. I'd say it's probably 60 feet deep out there in the center. And again, we're on the, if you're looking up toward the house from the lake, we're on that left prong of the cove. Now, in this lake in the winter will drop, they drop at about 40 to 50 feet, and at its lowest, there's just barely water in the bottom of this area out here. further off to the left, where it's deeper, there's always water, where we were earlier. But up that way, at the ends of the prongs of this cove, in the winter, that will be dry, and it kind of looks like a canyon. But as you can imagine, it's great boating through here, and it's really in this cove where there's very little traffic. It's a lot of fun to canoe.
Yeah.
We tried some fishing, but we hadn't had a lot of success. We just need to get our technique down, I think. We haven't built a float out here. We really don't need one here.
There's one over there that we can use.
That's our neighbors. And you look back over there, one of our other neighbors, that house over there is owned by another lawyer from Knoxville, a guy I know, and they've built that nice little boat area. But we've yet to do that because we don't actually have a boat that's functioning right now. So anyway, now if Andrew, point straight up there. If you walk straight over the top of those lounge chairs and up a fairly steep hill, you'd run right into the house.
Uh-huh.
And the house sits right in the middle of the peninsula, kind of up the hill. Okay. Okay, I know this tape is getting long, but the last thing we want to show you is the tree house we built, and it's still under construction. But as you can see, we're still downhill from the house. We're right at the tree line on the edge of our property. We built this tree house at a place where we could, you couldn't see it from the house, but it would also have a nice view of the lake. And we really never could find a suitable tree, so we had to use two big posts on the uphill side, and then just use two big trees on the downhill side. Okay. Cut it out. Okay.
We're on the trail from the house to the tree house. We have yet to camp here, but I'm hoping we can this summer in my tent. That'd be pretty cool. Here's the ladder to the tree house. And you can see I'm going to try to climb up here with the camera. There we go. Here's the trees that Daddy was talking about, and here's one of the posts that goes down into the ground.
It would have been a comical sight if you had been able to see me and Zana and the four kids trying to muscle these big 6x6s down here and set them in concrete. We got it accomplished, though. We got us a nice, steady tree house.
The best part of the tree house, of course, is the trap door.
We're still working out exactly how to do this. It's very hard to get up that rope ladder through the trap door.
But it's a good escape route if your enemy is trying to get you.
While my friend is a very good carpenter, I am not. And I built this door, but it must weigh 25 pounds, so it's sturdy and you can walk on it, but it's a little hard to maneuver. So what we have left to do is to finish out the railings. We just got started with that. The plan is to use some narrow PVC pipe and put it up here and build a canopy out of some sort of tarp so that it'll have a roof on it. But you can see that we're on one of the steep bluffs just above the lake, and so this tree house has a great view of the lake. And also, to get you oriented, Andrew's pointing the camera straight, that house is right over that little ridge. You can't see the tree house from the house, but we're very close. And if you look off to the right, and again, I doubt you can get any perspective on what it is, but that deep ravine down there is the one that is our property line. If you walk straight up that ravine, you'd be to the place where I was showing the property line earlier. Okay, this is almost the end of the tour. I know I said earlier it was the end, but we have one more thing. I want to show you the back of the house. We've shown you all the other parts of it. We might as well show you this too. Zana has put in all the beds around the house. She's lined it with rocks that she found around the area and very laboriously carried back. These are the butterfly bushes I was talking about. There are two separate heating and air conditioning units for the house, one for the upstairs and one for the downstairs, and the units, of course, are out back. And we've got those hidden by these butterfly bushes. The electrical panels for the house are on the back. All the cable, the house is wired for cable TV, although we don't have it up here. Also, of course, we have phone lines. When they robbed the house, they thought we might have some sort of an automatic burglar system, so they cut the power and the phone lines.
And that's what made the refrigerator broken.
All the food we had in the refrigerator was ruined. Looking straight up there, there's another great big white oak, and when we were deciding where to build the house on this property, we sort of marked the house site between that big white oak and then that great big one on the downside that has the two branches on it. Going down around here, we planted a few things. It's kind of hard to tell. We've planted some strawberries, and they're actually starting to come up. We have this little apple tree that we hadn't done a lot of work on, but we're hoping. And then the final thing is, this is just the other side of the house.
There's the chimney.
There's the chimney. That's that window that's way up in that the big room that I said was 25 feet high. That's the window up at the top of it. This window closest to us right here is on the bedroom where the queen bed was stolen. I don't know if you can see it in there or not. And then, of course, down to the porch on this side. So, that's the lake house. This is our closing argument on our lake house tour. We've got the remote so that you can see the house. This is cameraman Andrew Trammell.
Hello.
I hope that we hadn't made this too long, but we wanted to give you the whole shot of the whole house. So I hope you have a fast forward on your VCR. That way you can get through this if you're tired of it. But anyway, we sure wish y'all could come visit us here. We really love this place and spend as much time as we can here. We're looking forward to seeing you later this summer. We hadn't decided on the exact date, but we'll be there soon. Ms. Hicks, I hope you have a happy Mother's Day, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Bye.
Yeah.